In today's Final Touch, you think solving a Rubik's Cube is tough?
Try doing it with your feet. A Brooklyn teen is hands down a world record holder for solving a Rubik's Cube with his feet. Now he's trying to beat his own record. Daniel Rose Levine is busy practicing at the National Museum of Mathematics in Manhattan. He'll try to beat his fastest time of 16.96 seconds. The event takes place tomorrow evening in celebration of the museum's 6th birthday. How does he do that?
I don't know. That's incredible.
With his feet. All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, how Milwaukee is preparing to host the Democratic National Convention next year. We have team coverage.
Congressman Mark Pocan wants more details from immigration officials about arrests they made in September. We'll have the latest.
Plus, how a study proposed by the lieutenant governor could be a boost for college graduates.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
And thanks for staying with News 3. Wisconsin is now preparing to play host to a major national political event.
Democratic officials announced the selection of Milwaukee as the 2020 National Convention location, setting the stage for major political attention and huge economic impact. We have team coverage of this big announcement today, beginning with chief political reporter Jessica Arp. She has the latest out of Milwaukee. Jess.
Well, yeah, DNC officials are saying there's one major reason they chose Wisconsin and Milwaukee to host their national convention next year, because they believe it sets them up to win the White House. Officials toasted with beer this afternoon at the Fiserv Forum, the home of the Milwaukee Bucks, where the convention will largely be located in July of next year. Wisconsin beat out both Houston and Miami to host the nominating convention. Officials from Wisconsin and the DNC said repeatedly today it will help them focus the race on working people in America.
490 days, and we will have a discussion about how to retake our democracy in the city of Milwaukee. That discussion will not only ripple across Lake Michigan, it will ripple across the world.
Today's announcement will now set off months of frenzied work, including major fundraising for the convention, which has already raised some $11 million, Perez said today, and rounding up some 12,000 volunteers that will be needed. This will be the first time the Midwest has hosted a convention since 1996, when the DNC was in Chicago. Obviously, Wisconsin was in the limelight for its role in electing President Donald Trump in 2016, and DNC officials have made clear that they believe the road to the White House goes through Wisconsin next year. So if we needed another major political event in Wisconsin, here we come.
Well, one thing, I don't know how the weather will be that week, but we have covered national conventions and hurricanes, so we won't have one of those.
And terrible, severe storms, all kinds
and we won't need hotels.
Yeah,
we won't. All right.
Thanks, Jess.
Thanks, Jess. Top GOP leaders, however, say they believe the Democratic National Convention will highlight reasons to vote for Republicans up and down the 2020 ballot.
Meanwhile, the state's Democratic Party calls this a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Rose Schmidt is live at the state capitol with reaction from both sides of the aisle. Rose?
Yes, well, former Republican Governor Scott Walker is calling the convention coming to Milwaukee a perfect fit, particularly in the economic boom it will create in the area. Governor Walker tweeted today that congrats to the city of Milwaukee, while also touting the deal he championed that brought Fiserv Forum to Milwaukee. Senator Ron Johnson also took to social media to say he was glad Milwaukee will get an economic boost from the DNC, but that voters will get a look at Democrats' extreme policies. GOP strategists tell me that you can expect to see counterpoints offered from Republicans during that convention.
This is an opportunity for Wisconsin to showcase itself and to make clear what a battleground state Wisconsin is and why, and give the people of Wisconsin just as clear a view as possible of what the choice will be in 2020.
I think that this is absolutely the right call for so many reasons. As we know, every presidential election goes through the state of Wisconsin, and it's be a great place for us to pick our nominee.
Now, you just heard from Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, who says he's proud to call Milwaukee his hometown. Democratic Congressman Mark Pocan and U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin are also celebrating the news of the DNC today, with Pocan saying he's glad people are paying attention to the Midwest. And Governor Evers' defeat over Governor Walker back in November signaled to many that the Democrats could be on the rise in Wisconsin. Governor Walker says today that he hopes that the DNC coming to Milwaukee will help inspire and motivate complacent Republicans.
Rose Schmidt live at the state capitol. Rose, thank you.
And there will be a huge spike in our economy from the thousands of people expected to be here for the DNC.
There simply won't be enough hotel space in Milwaukee to accommodate everyone, so Madison hotels are starting to place their bids to host as well. Jamie Perez joins us now with how much of an impact we'll see here. Jamie?
Right, this economic impact will obviously be tremendous. Some are even comparing it to when Minneapolis hosted the Super Bowl. The hotel inventory was sold out a year in advance, according to Airbnb. They're expecting the same for Milwaukee hosting the 2020 DNC. According to Hotels.com, 95% of hotels are already booked during those dates. Hotels expect they will have to block out rooms for a 2-week period then as well. There are 2 other conventions also happening in Madison during that time, making hotel space a prime commodity here in Madison. Hotels have already started putting in their bids to host.
We put our best foot forward and say, you know, this is what we would like to offer to the DNC and how we'd like to have them stay with us. And they choose a select number of hotels, and we're on that list. So we get to be one of the select few to host the guests for DNC.
Radisson Hotels say that the hotels on that list offer package rates and benefits for those who stay at their hotel during the DNC. Right now, it's about $150 to $179 per night, and prices will only increase as we get closer to that time and depending on what hotel people choose to stay at. Airbnb is also anticipating a huge demand during that time, and they can't exactly anticipate how much exactly they will make. But just for comparison, in 2016, when Philly hosted the DNC, they made about $2.4 million, and that was just the Airbnb alone. So imagine just how much everyone is going to make from all of this.
Wow. All right, thanks, Jamie.
Sure.
Thanks, Jamie. Let's get a look at your first alert weather. Meteorologist Dana Fulton joining us on the weather patio. Dana?
Sunshine for us to start off your work week. I know we lost an hour of sleep this weekend, but we did, of course, get a little more daylight added to our days. Today we hit a high of 36 degrees, starting the morning off, though, in the low 20s. Our overnight low is pretty seasonal. We're still at 36 right now in Madison with a sunshine for us for about the next 2 hours. It really is going to be a pleasant evening. It's a little chilly outside. There is a bit of a wind chill to factor in because that breeze is coming in at about 7 miles per hour in Madison, closer to 13 miles per hour in Janesville, but it is steadily dying down. It's actually going to become pretty calm for us overnight. Our Doppler track also calm throughout the state. We're in for sunshine again for about 2 more hours and then mostly clear tonight. I can't say the same for the rest of the week, though. Notice our temperatures are going to steadily drop. We'll start off your Tuesday clear and cold in the teens, and then our next chance for rain is going to move in later on in the day. But we'll take a closer look at what's ahead for the middle of the week in just a few minutes.
Dana, thank you. A man accused of killing another driver in a fiery crash last summer has been sentenced. 22-year-old Gavin Viam was sentenced to 10 years in prison with 5 years extended supervision. This crash happened on June 23rd. It was at the intersection of Blair Street at John Nolan Drive in Madison. Court documents say Viam was high on LSD when he hit a vehicle driven by 45-year-old Deanna McCullough. Officials say Viam was going 60 in a 25 zone. 2 other charges against Viam were dropped as part of a plea deal.
Almost 6 months after ICE agents conducted a 4-day operation in Wisconsin to arrest undocumented immigrants, we're getting details about the agency's contact with local police.
Dane County and Madison officials have been vocal about the fact they were surprised by the presence of ICE in our area. Amanda Quintana joins us now with more on the records recently released to Congressman Mark Pocan. Amanda?
Yes, well, Pocan has been asking questions to ICE since those arrests happened back in September. He wanted to know why they targeted the people they did and details of their arrest protocol, especially details about letting local police know that they're coming. But a lot of the requests he made were not answered. The response is more than 400 pages, but almost 300 of those pages are redacted, so they're completely blank.
The trauma that this event left is huge because I still have phone calls from people asking questions about, have you heard anything about, is it ICE, is it safe for me to travel, for example?
The 4-day ICE operation that resulted in 83 arrests, 20 in Dane County last September, is still affecting our community. Fabiola Hamden hearing the fear in the entire immigrant community, still almost 6 months later, even from kids.
He said he couldn't go and play because ICE is going to come and detain mom, so he couldn't go outside and play.
Now some answers, but they're not lessening the worry. Records released in response to Congressman Mark Pocan's Freedom of Information Act request show no criminal history for at least 39 of the 83 people arrested.
When you look at the offenses, 6 driving under the influence, there's a variety of them, traffic offenses, some were prostitution, one, and some others. But again, what you're not going to see is human trafficking. What you're not going to see is drug dealing. What you're not going to see is MS-13 or gang activity.
Pocan says the idea that ICE was here to get a specific list of dangerous criminals was a lie. He also believes Madison and Dane County were left out when ICE was telling local law enforcement agencies they'd be coming. Emails show ICE started contacting Wisconsin agencies, including Janesville Police, as early as August 2nd. But Dane County Sheriff Dave Mahoney and Madison Police Chief Mike Koval say they weren't told ahead of time that ICE would be here.
ICE did it intentionally. And when you look at several of the comments where they talk about the radical population, specifically in this area, they did it with ill intent.
None of this making Hamdan's job of helping families feel safe any easier.
It's going to take a long time, I think, before these families feel safe.
In those emails ICE handed over, there are no emails between MPD or the Dane County Sheriff's Office and ICE, but there are some handwritten notes saying ICE agents did attempt to reach out to someone in Madison and called the Dane County Dispatch Center, but they didn't follow the correct protocol, so neither local agency, MPD, or the Dane County Sheriff's Office knew immigration officials were going to be here until those arrests started happening. As for Pocan, he will be filing an appeal to ICE's response so he can get more information.
All right, Amanda Quintana reporting. Amanda, thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says a clogged drain in the jail's holding cell was caused by an inmate flushing drugs down the toilet. The jail commander says this is not uncommon and happens once about every 6 months. Staff at the jail say they won't be able to trace exactly who did this, but say it's almost impossible to stop it from happening without a body scan or strip search, something they say they don't feel is necessary.
Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes introducing a student loan refinancing budget initiative. Barnes, along with the Department of Financial Institutions Secretary and the state treasurer, are collaborating on a study to create a state-run student loan refinancing program for an effective and feasible way to lower interest rates for borrowers. The lieutenant governor says that the average college student graduates with over $30,000 in debt, and over 70% of students have to take out loans to pay for college.
Meanwhile, President Trump delivered his 2020 budget proposal to Congress today, asking for $8.6 billion in new funding for his long-promised border wall. The funds would go toward building more than 700 miles of barrier along the U.S.-Mexico border. Cuts to domestic programs, including Medicaid, would pay for it.
We need to continue to secure the country. We need to continue to secure the border. We're not going to be bashful about that.
The budget request we received today would be a gut punch to the middle class, a handout to powerful special interests, the wealthiest few.
The president's budget also calls for spending $30 million on the Great Lakes Restoration Initiative, a program intended to remove toxic pollution, fight invasive species, and deal with other long-standing environmental problems in the 8-state region. That's a 90% cut from the $300 million the program has gotten in most years since it began in 2010.
A 23-year-old U.S. Olympic cyclist, Kelly Catlin, took her own life in her college residence last week, shedding light on the mental health struggles athletes can face. Dr. Claudia Reardon, a psychiatrist at University Health Services at UW-Madison, says mental illness can affect athletes of all levels, but especially elite athletes, often perceived as mentally strong because they are physically strong. Athletes don't always ask for help, though, when they need it out of fear of consequences.
I really want to emphasize that there is significant and ever-increasing research that demonstrates that athletes are not immune to mental illness.
Studies show eating disorders, sleep disorders, and anxiety affect athletes disproportionately. The NCAA has made mental health a priority, and UW Athletics employs psychologists that are directly available to student athletes.
There's more to come tonight on News 3 at 5. When we come back, over 150 are dead after a plane crash in Ethiopia. What one witness is saying about the plane before it went down.
And stocks rally to start the week on Wall Street. The Dow up 200 points. A 150-point jump for the NASDAQ. The S&P adds 40. We'll be right back. The United Nations Secretary General says at least 21 UN staff members died in that Ethiopian Airlines crash on Sunday.
Ethiopian Airlines has grounded the rest of its fleet of brand new jetliners after Sunday's crash that killed all 157 people on board, including 8 Americans. Search crews recovered the black boxes from Ethiopian Flight 302 in a debris field near the country's capital. A witness says smoke was coming from the rear of the plane before it hit the ground. If you're like many Wisconsinites, you're probably getting tired of all the cold and snow and you're getting ready to pack up and go someplace warm for spring break. While March is packed with spring breaks for students around the state, it's sending flight prices soaring. One local travel agent says it's not too late to score some last-minute deals for a vacation in a warm destination.
You won't be able to find these deals on the internet. You need to call a professional travel advisor because we get emails and alerts every day from suppliers about last-minute deals and things like that.
If a beach or a resort crowded with college students isn't your idea of a vacation, Ed suggests booking travel for after Easter later in April.
Or just hang around here where the weather is getting a little bit better. Dana Fulton joining us to look at our first alert forecast.
Gradually improving for us step by step. Now, sunset today is at 6:59, so we do still have, again, a little bit of time to enjoy the sunshine. Our next time that we have sunset before 7 p.m. is not until September 20th, so we are getting a little more daylight in the evening. Hope you're enjoying it. Downtown right now, it is a little chilly outside, but overall things are fairly quiet. Looking at our Doppler track, we're expecting a mostly clear sky for us tonight throughout the state. Really should be pretty quiet for us as we have high pressure ridging through the plains and the northern Midwest. It's keeping our sky pretty clear. And as that high pressure really passes over southern Wisconsin, we're actually going to have a pretty calm breeze for us tonight. Now, tomorrow our cloud coverage is really going to increase later on in the day. We'll start off mostly sunny, but later on, of course, mostly cloudy. Overnight, we start to see some light rain and drizzle. Not expecting a lot of rain to come through for us overnight, but it will start up Tuesday night and stay with us for a few days. We continue to see showers and potentially a few isolated thunderstorms on Wednesday, especially later on in the evening and overnight into Thursday morning. Thursday, we have rain in the morning and then yet again coming through in the afternoon. Late in the night on Thursday, we'll steadily transition over to just some light flurries before the snowfall completely wraps up and all of that moisture moves east and pulls away. Our skies will clear through Friday and into Saturday and Sunday. The weekend looks really nice for us. We are going to pick up a little bit of rain, of course, with all of that sliding on through. It's not going to be just drizzle at times. We will have some heavier rainfall at moments. Our totals heading into Friday morning, hovering right around an inch for us of rain accumulation. At this point, we could really not use it. We could use the opportunity to just get a little melting in, of course, with that ice and snow before the rain comes through. That might make things a little messy for us heading into, of course, Friday morning. Isolated flooding possible for us for Thursday and Friday with that rain coming through before everything melts away. A little closer look at that timing. Again, we're going to see a mostly clear sky throughout the day, throughout the night and into Tuesday morning. And then as we head into Tuesday afternoon and evening, the clouds will build back in. So increasing clouds overnight, and then the rain picks up for us heading into Wednesday morning. We will see those heavier showers at times. It's not going to be heavy nonstop though. So if you do have to, of course, run any errands, get a little break in the rain, you can just check the radar real quick and see if you do have any little cells sliding through your area. The showers will stay with us and then slowly head on out by the weekend. Overnight, we're going to fall into the teens, so another cold night with a mostly clear sky. That clear sky really helping us have our temperatures fall. We do have the chance for some patchy fog early in the morning. Our breeze is going to stay fairly calm, about 5 to 10 miles per hour max. Tomorrow afternoon will actually be a little above average, planning on a high of about 44. That light rain coming in later on in the evening, and the rain stays with us. 44, of course, not the warmest day of the week. Will be in the low 50s for Wednesday and the mid 50s by Thursday. So it is going to be a bit of a warm up for us for the middle of the week, expecting the snow and ice to really melt out of here. Those flurries coming through on Friday. Just about a dusting expected for most of southern Wisconsin since the ground will be so warm. By the weekend, we're close to average. We have sunshine, things looking okay for St. Patrick's Day. And right now, looking ahead to next week, expecting a fairly calm forecast as we extend out to the end of that 10-day period. As far as our roads are concerned right now, overall, things are actually looking okay for us throughout most of southern Wisconsin. I do want to pull up our traffic cam, taking a look at the Beltline in John Nolan.
Of course, we are seeing those delays on the eastbound side of the Beltline right now. Most of the westbound side actually seems to be rolling along fairly smoothly. Now, we do have a report of a crash on the Beltline southbound, the exit or the ramp onto the Beltline from Old Sock Road. That was just after 5 o'clock. It doesn't seem to be causing any delays. The other accident there, it seems the ramp to Whitney Way or from Whitney Way from the Beltline. That again, just after 5 o'clock, but again, not seeing any major delays on or off the Beltline. Just those slowdowns as you get closer to John Nolan. Sauk County looks okay, bouncing down towards Grant County, things look just fine, and towards Janesville, we aren't seeing any delays at this time. As far as your drive times are concerned, from Verona to the Beltline will take you just about 10 minutes, Oregon to the Beltline about 8, then from Springfield to University Avenue should be just about a 4-minute drive for you. That's a quick look at traffic.
All right, Dana, thank you. Ahead at 5, how a new test could help doctors diagnose Alzheimer's disease. That's after a short break. New research suggests a quick eye test could one day help doctors diagnose Alzheimer's disease.
Meg Oliver shows us how twin sisters led to a breakthrough for researchers.
97-year-old Scott Hughes and her identical twin sister Virginia were always close. When Virginia started having trouble with her memory and thinking, Scott knew something wasn't right. Virginia was later diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease.
It was heartbreaking because she was so outgoing and loving. She wasn't going to be who she had been before, and that is it's tragic to see in a person you love.
With one twin having Alzheimer's and the other healthy, researchers at Duke Eye Center studying the link between eye and brain health thought the sisters were a good case to examine. They took images of their eyes and discovered the twin with Alzheimer's disease had significantly decreased blood vessel density in the retina. That finding spurred a new study of more than 200 people.
Cognitively healthy, normal individuals do not have these changes in the retina.
Lead researcher Dr. Sharon Feckrath says the eyes may be a window to our brain health.
These changes happening in the retina of the eye may actually mirror the blood vessel changes happening in the brain of individuals with Alzheimer's disease.
Scott's sister passed away 14 months ago.
Every night after dinner, we had a conversation. Sometimes she would be able to respond, and sometimes she wouldn't, but she always knew that Sister was calling.
Scott says she's grateful she and her sister had a chance to contribute to research together. Meg Oliver, CBS News, New York.
Researchers say they plan to study people who have the gene for Alzheimer's but don't have symptoms next to see if they may be able to predict the development of the disease.
And stay with us. We'll have one final check of your forecast in just a moment.
Dana's here with a final check on the weather.
We're in for a mostly clear night. It is going to be just a little cold for us. Temperatures will fall into the teens heading into Tuesday morning. Tuesday will start off mostly sunny, and then our clouds just increasing throughout the afternoon. Temperatures will be in the mid-40s. It'll be feel much better outside, but the rain's going to start to pick up for us late Tuesday and last throughout Wednesday and Thursday. We're expecting showers through most of the day on Wednesday, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm or two. Those showers in the morning on Thursday and then developing later again in the afternoon. It'll mix mixed with some flurries heading into Friday before all of that moisture continues east and clears out. We have a nice weekend ahead for Saturday and Sunday with more sun in the forecast.
A little pot of gold at the end of the rainbow on St. Patty's Day. Dana, thank you. We're back in 30 minutes with more updates. Stay tuned for the CBS Evening News.